Hi, my name is Tyler, and today I want to talk about how to get exposure and reduce noise levels. Now, the technique I'm going to talk about is an old technique. It's typically a photography technique, but it does work for video also. And the majority of the times I use it. Now, you may have seen one or two videos about it possibly, but the term is exposed to the right. And when I first heard about this, I literally thought it meant putting my light on the right side and brightening myself on the right side. And I thought that for like a couple months. It was insane when I actually knew what it actually was. I don't know why I thought that. But exposed to the right is basically exposing your subject more than you should without clipping. And what this helps with is whenever you bring it into post, whether it's a photo or a video, you still have the information as long as you're not clipping, and you can bring down that information, meaning lower the exposure, and you're getting richer contrast typically, but more importantly, cleaner noise, whether it's in the shadows or the light or whatever. So the way I like to do this is I typically want to create a LUT that is either one stop, two stop, or three stops under exposure. And when I put it into my camera and load the LUT, I'm using it as a monitoring LUT, so it's not baked in. So whenever I look at it, I expose it how I would normally by looking at my false color or my waveform. And whenever I look at the image and log, it seems way overexposed, but I'm still seeing the image on the LUT as a normal exposure. And this is good for you, so you're not looking at some image that looks too bright and you don't know how it's going to look. And it's also good for clients. So if a client's looking at it, they're like, why are you exposing so much? Or why does this look like that? And you have to explain to them a ridiculous reason, and it's going to take too long. So how to get LUTs that are properly dropped in exposure, you're typically going to be using curves to actually do this in DaVinci Resolve. But another way to do it is also going to a website. I don't know the exact name, but all you have to type in Google is LUT calculator. And once that pops up, you can generate LUTs and create LUTs. It's a fairly basic looking website. It's like from the 90s, it looks like almost. But what you can do is any LUT that you have on your camera, there's an option to load that LUT into there and generate a LUT, and it'll show the curve of it. And you can create an exposure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops down, however you want to. And that is how you can look at it. But typically with false color, it ranges from 0 to 100. So whenever you look at false color, it's 0 to 100, right? 0 being crushed, black, no information. And that color would be purple, and blue is right on the edge. And then 100 would be red. It's like clipping, blown out, highlights look crazy, it looks way too bright. And that is in the red. And then yellow is like you're about to clip hardcore. So you always want to typically keep under yellow and keep above the blue line for shadows if you want to protect your shadows properly. Sometimes it's not necessary because you want shadows. You want to embrace shadows for contrast, right? In some areas it's fine. It's just, it is what it is. So when exposing, expose how you would normally, right? So a good trick to do this, in case you don't want to go and get a LUT or anything like that, is if you have an ND on your camera, however much you want to underexpose it, just put however many stops of ND on there. So maybe 3 stops of ND, right? You put 3 stops of ND, you expose it with your lights how you want to, and opening up your iris how you want to. And then whenever you do that, you take off the ND after exposing how you would normally, and then you press record. Simple as that. You're not going to be seeing it all clean and look good on the monitor necessarily, but whenever you bring it back in post, you're going to know the image is going to look good because of how you expose with the ND on. You made sure it looks like how you want to, whether it's cinematic or commercial looking, and then take that ND off, bright exposure, bring it in post, bring it back down 2 stops. I typically like using the HDR wheel global because it's more exacting on how your camera's exposure actually works. Unless you're using RAW, then you can just use the RAW tab, but basically dropping it down 2 stops. So it's equivalent of the number 2 on that global wheel, just dropping it down. And yeah, that's it for the video. Hopefully you liked it. Like and subscribe, and yeah, have fun trying that out and getting a richer image. And lastly, before I go, the reason I made this video is because people have issues with noise sometimes and you don't want to use noise reduction, but also the LUT calculator website I gave you. A lot of people don't know about that website, and a lot of people are trying to buy LUTs from people because they want that, exposed to the right or a 2-stop drop, that kind of thing. And a lot of people will sell these, and you can do it for free on this website. And yeah, have fun, experiment, and have a great day.